Hi guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Favor for those who are new here. Welcome. I hope you're loving this new background and you're loving this new setting. I'm pretty much still setting it up. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. In today's video, I'm going to be sharing the mistakes that I made or lessons that I learned in the process of my relocation from Scotland to England. If this sounds like something you'd want to know more of, please keep watching. Before I jump into today's video, I want to admonish, plead, appeal to you. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do. What are you waiting for? Just click that subscription button. Help the movement. Join this beautiful community that I have growing here. Give this video a thumbs up and sure to like it, and also share with your loved ones. Someone might be moving cities and they may just need to avoid making the mistakes that I made, or they may need to learn lessons. They may not necessarily be within the United Kingdom, but wherever it is that they may be, I'm sure there'll be lessons that they can glean from my experience. Without further ado, let's jump right into the video. The first mistake that I'm going to be sharing is I worried way too much. So you need to first avoid worrying and anxiety. This is very, very important, because if you're worried and you're overly anxious about your move, you're not going to make the right choices. You're not going to make smart choices with your move, and anxiety just beclouds your judgment. So the first mistake, or the first point, is do not worry, do not be anxious. The next point is closely linked to it. The only way you cannot worry or avoid being anxious and worrying is by doing your proper research. So that's one thing I really wish that I did. I really wish that I researched properly about where I was moving to. I moved from Glasgow to Bristol, and anyone who has followed me on this channel knows how much I'm consistently complaining about the rains in Glasgow. As God would have it, or in a twist of fate, Bristol is also a very wet city. So apparently it rains a lot in Bristol. It rains frequently. In fact, my first day in Bristol, the day I arrived in Bristol, there was a heavy downpour. There was thunder. There was thunder. There was, lightning. And I wish I had made more research. Perhaps if I had made more research, I wouldn't have found myself in another wet city or in another rainy city. So, doing proper research helps you to, it allays your fears, whatever it is that you're concerned about in the new place or the new city that you're moving to. Proper research would help you allay your fears. Next thing I also want to touch on is making a financial plan or a budget. So you want to ensure that you have a proper budget, and not just a budget in your head. The reason why I say this is, if you do not have a budget, in your bid to save money, you would end up spending more money than you bargained for. So let me give you a classical example. If you recall, there was a video where I shared how that I intend to transport my load using UPS. As exciting as that sounded, or at first it was like, oh, I was going to save a lot of money because I was going to transport my bag for, I think, £16 per bag. And the other places that I had checked, the price was about £22 and a bit higher. I soon realized that I eventually spent way more than that. In fact, I was really wishing that I'd gone ahead with DHL or with, a luggage transport service rather than using UPS, because in a bid to, save money, I did not make wise financial decisions, because at the end, because I was really worried and anxious, UPS was not picking my call to come and pick up the bag. It was so bad, you guys. In fact, I had to carry my bags one day all over Glasgow looking for UPS drop-off points. Eventually, when I got the drop-off points, they told me they couldn't take my bags because my bags had exceeded the luggage allowance that was allowed to be transported from drop-off points. So UPS had to come collect the load from my house. And I knew this. I didn't know why I was going up and down looking for drop-off points. So after wasting so much money on Uber, going from one drop-off point to the other, that's the money that I could have saved. Eventually, I made one final call, expressed my grievance. Anybody who knows me knows how much I expressed my grievance. So, I expressed my grievance, expressed my disappointment, and then they eventually came to pick it up. Eventually, in the final analysis, I soon realized that I eventually spent more money than I bargained for. So if I had just opted for, an expensive courier service or an expensive luggage transport service, I may as well have saved more money. I don't know if this makes sense. So I never had a financial plan in my head. I just I was just winging it basically and looking for anything that just looks cheap. But having a proper financial plan, a proper financial budget helps you put things in perspective. The next point I'm going to be raising is also linked to having a financial plan. And having a proper financial plan and a financial budget helps you in making a decision concerning your house. My accommodation story in Bristol is an entire conversation. It's an entire story for another video. You're moving from one city to another city, especially if you're in UK, there's a general accommodation problem. And in a bid to, just get any accommodation, sometimes you eventually realize you settle for less. So that was exactly what happened to me. I was going to settle for a place. I did not like the place at all. The place was not convenient at all, but because out of desperation I was going to settle for it. In fact, I went as far as paying for the house, even though it was not what I wanted in any form, shape whatsoever. But thankfully I was able to get my money back and eventually got a place that I really, really liked. So in your bid to not make the wrong decisions, my advice is, I know sometimes it might be tough because you're desperate, you're moving, your tenancy is expiring, you need to move out and you need to get a place so you will not be homeless. But please try your best to ensure that you do not settle for less, because you're going to be living in that place, even if it's just for 1 month, if it's for 2 weeks. Try to get a good place. At best, try to probably book an Airbnb, and then when you get there, you try to sort it out, because you don't want to enter into a wrong accommodation. It can make or mar your entire stay. And once you know that you're going to a good place, no matter what, there's always that feeling of happiness that, oh, I'm going home and I'm going to a place that I really, really like. I don't know if this makes sense. Having too much load. And I'm going to put this too much load from two perspectives, from where you're coming from and where you're moving to. So where you're coming from, if you had purchased so much load like I did, I wouldn't even say I purchased so much load, because I was staying in the student accommodation and most of the things I needed were already provided in the student accommodation. But peradventure, if you're not like me, you're coming from a house that maybe you had to purchase so many things and then you're moving to another city, it can be a tough one. Trust me, it can be really tough trying to transport your things and sort out the entire things, because there are some things you'd have to give away. It's just a lot, to be honest. So my advice is, try not to purchase too much stuff if you're going to stay in a place, especially if there's a time limit or there's a time frame within which you're going to stay in a place. And to be honest, I feel like I need to take my own advice, because I'm a sucker for comfort. I like to have as many cute, beautiful things in my house as I can, just to ensure that my house is somewhere that I really like, and when I come home to beauty, I come home to relaxation. But you really need to be able to strike the balance between how much stuff you put in your house for comfort and how much stuff can be too much, such that when you're relocating it becomes an issue. So ensure you focus on the things that you absolutely need, things that are absolutely necessary, especially if you're going to be staying in a place with a defined time frame. The last point I'm going to be sharing is ask questions. It's similar to one of the points I had stated earlier about researching on the place, but this one is more like asking questions. Ask people who live there. Try to reach out to as many people as you can reach out to. The house that I currently stay in, you guys, I got it off from a church, because not from the church directly, but from a member of the church. So I had reached out to the church. So that's another way you can leverage or networking. So if you reach out to them, they would respond to you. So if you tell them, I'm new in town, this is what I need, if it's something they can give assistance to, they would help you the same way they helped me with my house hunting. So you can always ask questions. Even if you don't know anybody, you can reach out to churches within that area. You can reach out to people. You can reach out to, if it's a university you're going to, try to reach out to the university itself, ask them questions. If it's for job, whatever it is, try to reach out to whatever it is that is taking you to that new place. So asking questions would also help you in your accommodation. It would also help you allay any fear or worry that you may have. And ultimately, which is like the last bonus point I'm going to say, is plan. To ensure that you have a proper written plan. So that plan guides you and helps you tick off what you need to have sorted out. Because sometimes when you're moving, it looks like, oh my God, I have so much to do. But if you have a proper plan that is laid out and set out, it helps you to know what you've done, what is still undone, and what is left. This, we have come to the end of today's video. I hope you were able to learn from my mistakes. I hope you're also able to learn from my lessons, and you can just glean one or two things to help you in your move or help you in your relocation. Please like this video, and sure to leave a comment, share with people who are relocating like I said, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Bye for now.